Welcome to the structure analysis class. So up to last class we have discussed the calculation of slopes and deflections in a beam using the geometric method. So we have used the properties of geometry in a beam, and then we have tried to calculate the displacement and the slope. So we have discussed all three methods in the last module, that is double integration method, then we discussed moment area method, and lastly we discussed the conjugate beam method. So in this lecture onwards, today we'll start the energy method to calculate the slope and deflection in a beam. So in the today's class, we'll see the basic introduction of the energy method and what is the energy method, how it is stored, everything we'll see. So basically energy methods are based on the conservation of the principle of energy. Okay, which states that the work done by all the external forces acting on a structure is transformed into an internal load or a strain energy which is developed when the structure is deformed. Okay, what is the meaning of this statement? So for example, let's consider this is a structure. Maybe this is a this is a bar which is embedded on a wall. So this portion is embedded on a wall, and the load is applied F. So after application of the load, obviously there will be the elongation in a member. So the original length was this blue shaded line, but after application of the load F, axial force, the length has increased now. Now the increased length is delta. So whenever we apply any load into a structure, basically we do some work. So as if you recall, in the 12 11 12 standard, you have studied the work done. So work done is nothing but force into distance. How much work it has done, right? So but the load is applied here F, and because of the application of load, the deflection happened, delta. So the work done is the external work. This force F is the external force, right? So external force applied F, because of that external work done, that is external work, some work has been done, right? So that same amount of work will be stored in the member as an internal strain energy. So there are two things. One is, first we applied the force F. Because of F, the work done, or the external work is stored in a member in terms of strain energy. So when the material elongated, the material has stored some energy because of external load F. So that storing energy, we call it strain energy. So because of external force, the internal force developed inside the member. So if the material's elastic limit is not exceed, that is, still it follows the Hooke's law, that is stress is directly proportional to strain. The elastic strain energy will return the structure to its undeformed state when the loads are removed. So after you apply the load F, the deformation happened delta, right? So because of the load, some energy already is done, external energy, external work is done. So that external work is actually stored inside the material in terms of strain energy. So now if you remove the force F after some time, after the deflection happened, then what will happen? Because already strain energy is stored inside that, so that strain energy will give back it to its original position. So because of the strain energy, the body will again go to its original position if we remove the external load F. So that is the theory of strain energy. So there are two parts. One is external force, external energy. Another one is internal energy. So whenever we apply any force externally, so that force, that work done is basically stored in a member in terms of strain energy, or the internal energy we call it. So obviously we know the conservation of energy. What is conservation of energy? Energy cannot be created or nor can be destroyed. It can only be transferred from one form to another form, right? That is our conservation of energy. We know we cannot create any energy, we cannot destroy any energy. Only the transformation of energy will happen in a structure. So this is the conservation energy equation, right? Whatever external work done is happened, that is nothing but the internal energy stored in a member. So UE is external energy which is applied to the structure, and UI is the internal force developed because of external energy. So whatever external energy is done, that is the same energy will be stored in terms of strain energy in the material. So that is our strain energy concept. So please remember, very much important here it is, UE is external work done. So like force is applied F, because of which delta the deflection happened. So how much work done it is, F into delta, right? That much work deflection and that much work done happened. So that is external work done. That external work done is not will be stored in the material or in the structure in terms of internal energy. So UI is basically the internal energy. Internal strain energy will be stored. So external strain energy equal to internal strain energy. That is the conservation of energy equation. So now let's see external work force, how exactly it is stored, or how, what is the external work or UE. Let's discuss now more in details what is UE. As I mentioned, when the force applied F, there will be deflection small, and that is delta, capital delta, right? So all the external so whatever work done is happened, that work done will be nothing but the external energy or external work. So external work, that is U, always we denote it as the energy. UE suffix is external. So UE equal to integration 0 to x f into dx. So let's consider maybe delta is the final deformation, but when the load applied gradually, maybe a small loads when it is applied, then so then the deflection maybe happened delta x, right? Delta x is for small x. So see, f is applied gradually, right? So if I draw a curve, so this is our f axis and maybe this is our time axis. So f does not act at time 0, so gradually we applied the force f. So when time was 1 second, we applied only small portion of f, so like that. So maybe after a certain time we applied entire force f. So basically this f is acted gradually, not as instantaneous force. So now so because of the small force, because of the force applied gradually, so initially at some point, some portion, the deflection was delta x. So how much work done? So force into deflection is nothing, force into displaced deformation is nothing but the work done. So force is F into deformation, if you consider it as a small scale, dx, and total external work will be integration 0 to x for entire length. That is the equation, right? Integration, if you take F into dx, is a small work done, force into distance, and this is the entire work done. Now what is F? So again we know F equal to, F is nothing but what, entire force, right? So now the F is a total force applied at and after the application of total time duration t, total force is F. So F can be written as P by delta into x, right? P is an instantaneous force and delta is a total deflection happened. So now if you substitute f in this equation and take the integration 0 to x, so what will you get? You will get, this is the expression. You just take the integration, let me do it quickly here. So just replace now f integration 0 to x, f is nothing but p by delta into x dx. So take the integration, you will get ue, that is external energy, will be half into p into delta. So in other words also you can derive this expression. How? So if you take, so at the beginning of the time, so when time was 0, the force was also 0. Now the force F is applied gradually, right? So gradually at the beginning it was 0, then after certain time it reaches to this entire P force, and the total elongation happened, that is delta, right? So if you take the average, what will be the average? At time 0 the force was 0, whereas at time t the force is P. Now what is the average? So if you take average at time 0 it was 0, and when the force when the delta is, when the time full, then it will be reaches to P. Now average will be by 2 into delta. right? So it will be p delta by 2. So in that way also we can solve half p delta by 2. In that way also we can find it out the total u. So what is the average force? So at the time beginning it is 0, and when the time end it is p, right? So what is the average? Average is 0 plus p by 2. So half into p into delta is a total u, right? So this is the external work done. Now similarly, now if you see, this is the same beam, whatever we have drawn, the structure, same structure is here. Now we applied additional force F star. Earlier we applied P in this structure, as we mentioned, we applied already P. Now additional force F dash is also applied. So because of the F dash, now again the displacement increased to delta dash. Because of F dash, the deflection happened extra in the delta dash. So now how much work done because of F dash additional force? So that we draw this P delta diagram. P is a force and delta is a deflection, right? P delta diagram. So up to this portion, if you recall, so this was the original beam when the P is applied and the delta was the deflection. Then this entire work done is nothing but the area under the P delta diagram. So this is the P delta diagram, right? So area of this triangle is how much? Half into base into height. Base is delta and height is P. So that's what energy, external energy UE is equal to half into P into delta. Means this area under this triangle half into base into height. Like so, if you draw the P delta diagram, from this diagram basically we can calculate how much energy, how much external energy is applied into a structure. So this is a total deflection. Now how much happened? Delta plus delta dash total deflection. So delta plus delta dash, and the force is earlier P we applied, now additional F dash also we applied. So this is our final force. So now this area under this entire thing will be the external work done, this area of this entire triangle. So area of only this portion is nothing but the responsible for P. Earlier whatever we saw, that is the this much area. So area 1. So I'll write area 1 is because of load P, this original one, right? This P is responsible for this one. And this F dash, because of F dash, now the extra displacement happened, that is delta star, delta dash. So this much area, so this is delta dash, so this number 2 I'll give. So this triangle area will be responsible for F star, F dash. And this portion, this shaded portion is nothing but the work done because of the P. So that much triangle will be work done because of the load, earlier load P, although the deflection happened because of F dash. The delta that start deflection happened because of F dash, but that much is the area. So total area under this triangle, so this is entire area. So this area is nothing but the external work done by the forces. So till now we discussed about the only forces, external work done because of forces. Now let's see external work done because of moment. How much how much external work is done because of moment. So same thing, moment is nothing but a rotation, right? So moment will be responsible to rotate the member. So the total small that external work because of moment du equal to m into d theta. So d theta is what? Moment is responsible for rotation, right? So before applying moment, the beam was straight. After applying moment m, the beam rotated little bit. So that is d theta, right? So the work done will be how much? Moment into rotation, how much happened. So similarly, what here also we did, right? So work done for the force will be force into displacement, how much displacement takes place because of the load. Similarly for moment, because of this moment, how much rotation takes place, so that will be the work done. So here work done will be for moment into rotation, how much rotation happened, that is for moment purpose. So m into d theta is the moment work done because of the external moment. So now this is for the small section. Now if you integrate for 0 to entire rotation theta, so you will get the entire that is work done because of entire force, work done because of the entire moment, that is integration 0 to theta m d theta. Okay, so again this moment is applied gradually, not at instant time. So what will be the average moment? So similarly, what we did here, this triangle, if you see this average load we have calculated. Similarly here also, moment is not applied at an instant. So at maybe at beginning, there is at 0 second moment was 0, but gradually we started applying the moment. Maybe at the beginning of 1 minute, moment reached to m. So what is the average moment applied? Average moment will be m plus 0 by 2. Two values average, right? So m by 2. So u equal to half into m theta, right? So that is and because if you apply a little bit extra similar to here, after you apply m, again you apply m dash, then this will be the extra, an extra external done work done because of the moment. So that's what we discussed about the external work done. So as we mentioned, there will be two types. One is external work, and because of external work, there will be internal work will be developed inside the member. So till now what we discussed is how much external work done because of the loads, external loads. So in the next slide, now we'll see how much internal work has developed or internal strain energy is developed because of the external force. So the strain energy, because how much strain energy generated because of axial force, that derivation we'll see now. So when an axial force N is applied gradually to a bar in a figure, so this is a figure. So if you see, this is a beam and the external force N is applied gradually. So gradually means at the time of 0 the N was 0. So when maybe after 1 minute the N reaches to its peak value N. Okay, so its strain energy. So whenever you apply external force, similarly inside the material, strain energy will be developed and it will be stored. This external work, whatever we'll do, that will be stored in terms of strain energy inside the material. So it will stain in the material such that external work done by N will convert into the strain energy, which is stored in the bud. So whatever external work will do it, that is N into delta. So that is the total external work done, that will be stored inside the material as a strain energy. So already we know this is the Hooke's law, right? Stress is proportional to strain, and we replace proportionality with the constant and we call it, this is modulus of elasticity, right? We know stress equal to modulus of elasticity into strain. We know this expression. Now what is stress? Stress is nothing but normal force. N is a normal force, right? Axial force. Force into force by cross-sectional area will give you stress. So force is N by cross-sectional area is A. So this is the no stress. And what is epsilon? Epsilon means strain, right? Strain is a change in length by original length, right? Change in length, original length was L, and because of the application of load, the elongation happened, that is delta, right? So the elongation, so the strain will be change in length is delta by original length is L. So delta by L is the strain. So now replace both the values, sigma also, sigma value whatever we got, replace here. Similarly epsilon also we replace here. What you get? N by A equal to E into delta by L. Just replace both the value in this main expression. So delta will be this much, N by A. Similarly E will be there, and epsilon value is delta by L. So this is our final expression. So from here, if you find it out, what is delta? So delta will be nothing but N into L by AE. N into L by AE is the delta. Delta, that is the how much elongation takes place because of the axial force. That is the value NL in by AE. So already we know in the last slide we have seen that because of this load N, how much external work done. So external work done is half into P into delta. Already we know. So half into P into delta is the external work done. So as per as per the conservation of energy, so same amount will be stored in a member as an internal strain energy, right? So the same UE, whatever we got, that will be stored in a member as an internal strain energy. So internal strain energy, we tell it UI, right? UE is the external energy, UI is the internal energy, equal to, that will be same value, right? So just substitute delta value, already we derived NL by AE. So just replace delta equal to NL by AE, and what is P? P will be nothing but, so here P is nothing but N. right? We replace, so P was force, but here we consider it is N. So just P equal to N, and delta is NL by A. If you do it, then you will get Ui equal to N square L by 2A. So this is the internal force strain energy developed and stored inside the bar, and this is the external stored and external work done because of the load N, right? So this one is the strain energy because of axial flow force. Now let's see how much strain energy generated because of bending. So it will be also very similar. So this is a beam, arbitrary loading is acting W and P, and total distance is L, and we consider a small segment dx. Because of this external load, the beam will now deflect, and the bending moment also will be generated, right? And this is the beam equation already we have derived in the last module. If you recall, we have derived d square y by dx square equal to m by ei, right? So this is a beam equation we have derived in the last module. So from here, what is dy dx? So dy dx is nothing but theta, slope, right? So if you just write it, so this expression can be written as, so d theta dx equal to m by ei, right? So from here, what is d theta? D theta equal to m by ei into dx. So that's what is written here. So d theta equal to m by ei into ex. Okay, so, and we know external work done how much? Half into m into theta. Last slide we have seen external work done because of the moment will be half into m into theta. Just replace theta value here, d theta value here. So we will get internal force, internal strain energy. How much it is developed? It is m square dx by 2ei. So total value, if you take integration 0 to L entire length, you will get m square dx by 2ei. So you have to remember two important things: how much strain energy developed because of the axial force, that is this much, and how much moment, how much strain energy developed because of the moment, that is this value. So if you see, both the values are very similar. Here it is n square L by 2a, whereas here it is m square dx by 2ei. Okay, so these two value we have to remember to solve of the numericals. So again, in this method, basically our main objective is to find out the slope and deflection in a beam. So this is the load applied, arbitrary load. Because of that, our beam will deflect, right? And this, so our main objective is to find out the slope and deflection at the beam. So in the last module, we have derived this slope and deflection using the geometric method. So but in this method, we'll try to solve it using the uh, energy method. So why we need energy method? Already we have geometric method, right? Because when the loads are, many loads are acting, so geometric method is used when it is a simple loads are acting, maybe one UDL, 1 point load. So when the loads are very simple loads are acting on a beam, so easily we can do it using the geometric method. But when the very complicated loads are acting on a structure, maybe too many UDLs, UVLs, you many varying load, or point load, many types of loads are acting. In that case, if you employ the geometric method, it will be little bit troublesome to solve. So in that case, the energy method is very much useful. So in the next class, again we'll derive our actual equation for the energy method, and we'll do some couple of examples. Thank you.